Hello everybody and welcome back to Barby's Football Banter Factory, and today is a good day to do a very early, premature review of the Chelsea squad 2020-2021 so far. I am excited for this. I just want to see, it's like a report card. It's an early report card. It's a bit like a mock test, a mock exam before your O levels or A levels. You just sit down and you sit for those mock exams. Most of the time, it's a good indicator of what's to come. There are some cases where it's not, but in my case, for example, I got an EU in my mock test in physics, and that's exactly what I got in my O levels because I did not sit for the exam. And it's gonna be something like that. We're just gonna have fun and see where it goes, see where the squad is, and what we can expect and how they've performed so far. I'm going to start with the goalkeepers. Let's start with that man, Johnny Sins, Billy Caballero, that Argentine man of steel. Billy Caballero, I'm going to give this man a default rating of 5. I don't even know if he's played a game. I think he might have played one. He was average. Better than Kepa, but probably not that good. I don't even remember him playing that much. I'm going to give this man a 5. Moving on to Kepa Arrizabalaga, I'm going to give him a 3. I don't want to be too harsh, but I have to be fair. He's been awful, and the fair rating for Kepa is 3. The clean sheets after he's sort of been benched proves it that something was not right with Kepa. We missed the Kepa first season, but for that Kepa to re-emerge, it will probably not be at Chelsea. He must be moving on. Moving on to Kareo Ziegler from Croatia. He was born in 2001. The lad is only 20 or 19. Not available because he hasn't played a game. Probably played for the U team. I have not seen any of the U games. If you have, let me know what you think about him. Now, moving on to my man, Spider Mendy. I'm giving him straight a 9.5. He's been almost perfect. There's no way around this. Spider Mendy has made the desired impact for Chelsea Football Club, and Spider Mendy will be one of the main reasons we are successful in the next 2 or 3 years. Trust me, a title is coming within 2 or 3 years. I hope it's the end of this season, but probably not. What one man can dream, and this year, I feel something. Liverpool have injuries. Man City. They don't have the mental strength, not always. So we have a chance. Of course, I don't think we'll win this year, but we have a chance, and as long as we have a chance, we can dream. Moving on to defenders, Cesar El Capitano Azpilicueta. Actually, El Capitano is Italian. I'm not sure how that's pronounced in Spanish, but my man Cesar, Dave, as they call him, I'm gonna give him a 6. He's been decent. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been probably at his best. He's entering the years where now we have to use him rotationally, and he's still very good defensively, and there is a value for him still, very much so. Dressing room, he's a big presence. I'm going to give him a 6. Abdul Rahman Baba, this guy's in our squad. I was not even aware of this. He looks like he's in our squad, but not available. This man has not played a single goddamn minute, so not available. Chili B, Ben Chilwell, I'm going to give an 8.5. This guy's had a wonderful start to his Chelsea career. Ashley Cole handpicked him as Chelsea's next left back. And Frank Lampard said, I believe in you, Ashley, because you were the man. We need another one, someone like you. And it looks like Chili B has started his career on fire. And the only way Chili B can go now is actually, he's going to drop his form now, isn't he? But great start for Chili B. I'm going to say 8.5 for Chili. He's probably going to get even better, especially defensively, because let's be honest, he's not the best defensively, but as long as there's that man Spider Mendy, it doesn't seem to matter. Chili B gets an 8.5. Andreas Christiansen will get a 3, just like Kepa. He is trash. There's no other way to say it. He's an academy boy, so he gets a free pass, but I don't like him particularly because I've been watching him for a while now. Since 2015, he has not improved. His best seasons were at Mönchengladbach, and that's where we should be looking at to sell him. because he should not be at Chelsea. So I'm going to give him a 3. Emerson Palmieri, 5. Not good, not bad, average. Reece James, I'm going to give this man an 8. Good start to Reece James. He's got a beautiful cross. He's got a beautiful delivery, and he's built like a tank. He looks like Ivanovic. And I'm liking Reece James, especially with Edward Spider-Mendy and Thiago Silva at the back. Now, Marcos Alonso not available, has not played a single minute. Oh, wait. Actually, he did. I'm going to give him a 1 for that one performance where he lost his Chelsea career. I'm giving Marcos Alonso a 1 out of 10. Actually, that's too harsh. Let's be fair to him and give him the same rating as Christensen and Kepa. Give him a 3 out of 10. Marcos Alonso, you should need to find yourself another club. All right, now moving on to Rudiger. Rudiger, I'm going to give a 5. It's a bit unfair. Oh, it's a bit generous, rather, because I gave Christensen a 3 and Kepa. But I've lost faith with Christensen, especially with Thiago Silva at the back. He's got something to offer this team. So I'm going to keep my faith. And he's performed. He's actually been part of a team that kept a clean sheet in the Champions League. So I'm gonna give this guy a 5. A bit generous. Probably 3 or 4 is more fair. But I'm going to give this guy a 5. Thiago Silva. I'm giving this man a 9.5, just like Edouard Mendy, because this man has come in with his horns. See, he's a goat, and he's ready to perform. He's got that goatee as well. No, actually, he doesn't. He's clean-shaven, but in my head, he does, because he's the goat, man. He's coming in, and he's really improved their defense. The numbers don't lie, so I'm going to give this man a 9.5. Fikayo Tomori, not available. But I'm sure he'll do well because he has not played a single minute so far. Kurt Zouma, I'm going to give a 7.5. The disastrous Kurt Zouma. He always looks to make a mistake but then doesn't. But then sometimes he does. But these mistakes have been slowly being erased thanks to that man Thiago Silva, and we are now seeing the positive of having Kurt Zouma, like we did in 2015 when he played beside JT or Cahill. Good in the air. A beast when it comes to heading the ball, and so quick. Of course, when you ask him to think too much, he does make mistakes because he's that explosive defender. He's not the kind of guy who sweeps up, or who stays back and commands the defense and reads everything. That's Thiago Silva's job, and as long as Thiago Silva's fit, we have that's a good partnership potentially. Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma. Going on to the midfield, Danny Drinkwater not available, did not play. I don't know what he's still doing at the club. He's just earning his wages. Billy the Goat Gilmore. Billy Goatmore. Not available. He's been injured. He's been nursing his injury. He'll be back soon, and I expect him to do well. Because I think he'll get minutes in this game. With COVID, you never know who's fit, who's not fit, who's available, who's not available. These things will come, and he's going to be a crucial part. Remember, Frank Lampard backed Billy Gilmore over Ross Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and that's a massive boost, in my opinion, to Billy Gilmore and his self-belief. Of course, because he's more talented than them. Honestly, he actually is. He's very gifted, and he's got that Cesc Fabregas-esque presence about him in the middle of the park. He's a naturally gifted passer of the ball, and he's so smooth on the ball. There's more to come from him at Chelsea for sure. Not available though. Kai Havertz, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Good start by Kai. Not the best. He's going to get better, but he's had his moments. He's controlled the midfield. He has COVID right now, so I wish you all the best, Kai. Get better because Chelsea need you. Jorginho, I'm going to give him a 7. A decent start, not the worst, but decent. He's a leader in the dressing room. He's a presence. I know ideally Chelsea fans, including myself, want Declan Rice long term to replace Jorginho, but Jorginho for this season, I think he will do the job. He's still a very good player. He's still one of our leaders in the dressing room for sure, and I'm gonna give him a 7. He's been good. He's not been bad. N'Golo Kante 8. You know, he's in Singolo. He's nowhere near his best, but he's but we win more games when N'Golo was on the field. Just his presence alone. Although lately he's been coming back to his best, playing as a number 6. Mateo Kovacic, I'm going to give him a 5. A poor start by our player of the season last year. Not necessarily his fault. He's played a lot of games last season. He looked a bit fatigued near the end. And I think he has not been able to sort of get out of that mental block that he ended the season with. And I think there's more to come from him. It's just 5 for now, but I know he'll get better as the season goes on. Mason Mount, 7. I was harsh on Mason Mount when he played on the wing. Those two games on the wing kind of stopped him from getting an 8, because he's been good, he's been productive, he's been proactive on both ends of the ground, defensively and offensively, providing energy and a good sense of presence as well in terms of defensively for sure, and offensively he's been improving in the last few games. He's been assisting, and he's been getting to score. And now moving on to the strikers. The reason why we all watch games, the goals, the people who score the goals, the men who make the difference. Starting with Tammy, I'm going to give Tammy a 7.5. Decent start to the season. He's been in and out, but when he's been in, he's actually played well. He's been scoring, he's been assisting, he's been holding the ball up quite well. So Tammy Abraham, 7.5. Oli G, not available because not been playing much. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 7.5, but this is... I'm concerned because he doesn't get enough game times as his performance merits, and I feel like he's one of those players in the team every manager has favorites, and he or people that they don't trust, and I feel like he falls under that category of not being trusted by Lamps, and this is a concern because Callum Hudson-Odoi is very talented, and I've been impressed with him every time he plays. He had that injury, and then for a big injury, when he came back for 3-4 months, he didn't get back to his best, but now when he started playing, he looked back to his best. But again, Frank doesn't trust him. He has a lot of options, so he's having to sit on the bench. But that being said, I'm going to give this man a 7.5 because whenever he's played 3 or 4 games, he's been good, he's been impressive, he's been productive. Christian Pulisic, not available. I'm going to give him a 7 because when he's the very limited amount of games he's played, he's been effective. Not at his best, but effective. But again, we need Christian to be fit because Captain America is our man. Captain America, with his shield mentality, brings that X factor, that Ethan factor, that otherwise we don't have. We don't have that magician. We have Hakim, who's a magnificent football player. However, he's not got that explosive speed like an Ethan or Pulisic. So we need Pulisic to get back to his best, to get fit, and hopefully fight off the injury troubles of last few seasons. Last season at Chelsea, before that at Dortmund, so he can stay fit, be productive, and be prolific for us. I'm going to give this man a 7. Now moving on to Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech gets an 8.5. He's only played like 2 or 3 games. He's been very good. Yesterday he was average, but I still give him a 6.5. He manages to be productive in his bad games, unlike Villian or some of the other guys we used to have. But Hakim Ziyech, I'm digging this man. He's got some flair, he's got some ability, he's got some vision. He can be frustrating at times, but I'm gonna give this guy a 7 just because he is a difference maker in our team. He's a dribbler, he's a passer, he finds the spaces, he finds the channels. He's a risk taker, and we don't. And he's the kind of player that will make the difference for us in terms of breaking low blocks, I feel, and he's got that in him. Timo Werner, I'm going to give this guy a 9. A fantastic start to the season. Actually, I'm going to give him an 8.5. 9 is a bit too generous. 8.5, still a fabulous start to the season. He's scored 7 goals in 11 games. It's a bit harsh to give him an 8.5. I just think like he can do even better. He can be more clinical. He can be the complete striker. I feel like there are certain parts of his game that are not there. He doesn't hold the ball up as well, and sometimes when he's through on goal or when he has a run on the defense, he's not direct enough. I feel with someone with his pace and his running ability, I feel like I would look to shoot as much as I can. But I'm impressed with him. I'm gonna give him an 8.5. Now signing off in this video with the manager, Super Frankie Lampard. Frank Lampard, I'm going to give a 7. I had my doubts about him. I was very angry at first when the season started because he was rotating and he was experimenting and he was playing Mason Mount on the wing and Christian Pulisic on the wing that he doesn't like to play and things like that. But everything seems to have settled down in the last 3 or 4 games. He's found a solution. He's found a formation. He's found a balance. And 7 is good enough because I don't think he's in danger of being sacked or anything. But I don't think he's impressed me to the extent where I'm going to give him a 9 or 10. But he is impressing me. He's impressing me more and more. And that for me is a 7. He's a legend, as you can see. And I think he will succeed. And I hope that he's the manager who wins me the title. Because I spoke to my best friend, and he's also a Chelsea fan, and he was telling me we gotta wait 2, 3, 4 years with Frank to win the title. I'm like, hell nah. We ain't waiting that long. We have the squad. We have the belief. We have the manager. Yes, we have the manager. And I believe Frank, if he keeps on improving like this year, next year, or the year after, we are gonna be champions. Now, let me talk about the one player I'm most impressed with, the one player that will I think will impress me in this as the season, and the one player I fear for that will probably fall out or out of favor with the manager. So I'm going to start with the player that's impressed me the most, and that is going to be Spider Mendy. That man, Spider Mendy, he has impressed me the most. The man that is going to impress me, I feel, as the season goes on, is going to be, oh, this is a difficult one. I'm going to go for Tammy Abraham. I just have a feeling he's going to have a crucial part to play this season. And I just feel like Frank really trusts him. So I feel like his goals will come in handy. And the player I fear for the most, and I don't like doing this part, but Callum Hudson-Odoi, even though I've been impressed with him, I don't think Frank rates him, or at least doesn't trust him defensively. And unlike Pulisic, who he did the same thing with Pulisic last season, but Pulisic started so well when he got the chance that Frank was like, I'm going to give him a chance. So let's be fair to Frank. He does give players chances. And he's not one of those managers who has a lot of favorites. He has Mason Mount. That's his favorite. But other than that, he doesn't really have favorites. He plays players based on their form. So if Callum Hudson-Odoi can keep impressing, then Frank Lampard, hopefully, and I think going by what he has done, he does give players chances. So I think if he keeps playing well, Callum Hudson-Odoi will be back in the team, and hopefully he will get the chance. So guys, this was just a small review of the players that play for Chelsea so far. It's a mock report card or whatever. It's not a real report card. It's a bit of a premature report card. But you know, sometimes these things can tell us what happens during the season. And you know, judging by the card, there's good, bad, and everything. There's disappointment, there's excitement, there's progress, and there's also reason to be fearful. There's everything in this report card, and it shows that we can actually win the league, not win the league, be top 4, even finish outside top 4, which is like a nightmare. But let's be realistic. There are enough good teams in the Premier League that if we're not at our game, we might risk finishing out of the top 4. But if we're at our game, not only can we finish top 4, we can win the league. So I'm gonna leave it with the winning the league bit, because that's positive. I don't want to end this video on a positive. Keep the blue flag flying high. Come on, Chelsea, and from Bar B's, I will see you later. Until then.